James, I can see that in the first year of your A-level, you learned to program using Visual Basic. However, you're currently completing your project using C#, a very different language, and the Unity games engine, neither of which you've been taught about. Just thinking back to the Visual Basic first, what did the teacher do to teach you VB?
Well, generally speaking, they'd provide a slideshow or PowerPoint presentation which has examples of the kind of problems you'd be expected to solve and how you'd be expected to solve them using things like for loops, while loops, etc., etc. And then you'd be instructed to go away and implement those for a slightly extended version of what they'd shown you on the presentations.
Okay, and did you complete any other activities apart from going away and completing those extended tasks?
Generally speaking, no. It was just you'd be given, for example, they teach you about a for loop, and then you'd be expected to go away and look at how to implement a for loop with a specific example given.
Okay. Do you feel confident in using VB?
To an extent, insofar as I could complete the work given to me. I don't really feel like I could do anything outside of that, anything on a larger scope. I feel like I would struggle with.
Okay, why?
Generally speaking, because the work we're given is, well, we're just taught according to the syllabus step by step, which is small building block pieces, which assumedly will go together at the end to allow us to do more. But at the time being, they're just pieces that haven't been put together yet.
How have you learned how to use Unity and C#?
That's entirely been off my own back in my own time. It's just watching videos, reading tutorials online. There are books I could buy as well to do that, but it's mostly just been free resources online.
Okay. Has what you learned while studying Visual Basic helped you at all when learning about C#?
Not learning about Visual Basic, but learning about the concepts underneath has helped, because the concepts are the same across all programming languages. So knowing how it works in general means that it can be adapted to the different language with greater ease than if I didn't understand any of it to begin with.
Okay, Reece, talking about your apprenticeship, I see from the scheme of work that you use the C programming language in your job. And I think that was new to you when you started your apprenticeship. You hadn't studied it before, although you had studied Visual Basic during your BTEC. How easy was it to adapt to programming in C?
Not particularly, I would say. Compared to Visual Basic, it's a lot of layers above, if you like. So yeah, it's definitely quite a strongly different language to use compared to Visual Basic, that's for sure. It did take a lot of trial and error to kind of get things going.
And what was it that you didn't learn through Visual Basic that would have helped you with C?
Because well, Visual Basic it's all I guess the main thing is it's garbage collected, right? So you don't have to manage stuff yourself, whereas C is very low level concepts. So you really kind of have to do everything yourself, even the simplest things. Whereas Visual Basic is all shoved under the rug, if you see what I'm saying. Okay.
Have you received any direct instruction in programming in C?
No.
Okay, so how have you learned how to use C then?
Just through trying to do, just trying to do something in C, basically, not through really any tutorials or anything so much, just trying to do something with it and then learn it at the same time. So you've kind of got a real world example to go with it, and then obviously over time getting better and better and better at it and redoing the old stuff.
So when the trainer comes in from your training provider, Reece, does he look through your code and does he talk it through with you, and does he help you to develop your skills in C?
No, they don't really look through. They don't really look through anything I've written in the workplace.
Okay, so largely you're left to your own devices.
Yes, yeah, pretty much. So I've got work that I have to show what I'm doing at work, and I've got a list of key criteria that I have to meet. But a lot of the goals are kind of orientated around websites and thinking. So there's things talking about databases, and I just look at it and I think it's not really applicable to me. So I kind of have to twist the square peg into the circle hole to make it work, basically.